So two of the things that we're going to get into today specifically are social media and email as well. What we're going to do is we're basically going to go in and we're going to create a template or a design area, one for social media, one for email. I do want to mention, we're not going to get into like, okay, after we've created this, how do we go and do the social media posts and how we do the email campaigns? That's actually a whole nother lesson, and that will be up and coming. We're very much today just focusing on the design aspect of this. You know, how do I get in and how to create the graphics? What options do I have available for me to edit them? What templates are available? How can I do it from scratch? That kind of thing. So I do want to ask everybody, I mean, if you do have a question, please feel free to chime in audibly while I'm teaching. I don't have the chat available on the side, so I won't be able to see your guys' questions till we get done and we back out of the chat. But please feel free at any point in time to unmute and throw a question out there, or even just chime in if this is something, you know, if you miss something that I say, or if you have a comment, you want to chime in with an experience that you've had, then by all means, please do so. Okay. So without any further ado, Joan, can you see my screen okay? I know I can hear you. So can you see that okay?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. We are in Command. And once you're in here, you know, we're at the welcome screen right now, the home screen. There's all these different, we call them applets over on the sides. And that's where you get to the different areas of Command over here on the left-hand side. One thing that I always like to have everybody do before we even get in here and do any design stuff is to check what's called your marketing profile in Command, okay? What Command does is it basically helps you connect to Facebook for doing posts. It helps you connect to Facebook for doing ads, and it also connects to Twitter as well. I do want to mention that it does not connect to other social media channels such as Instagram, LinkedIn, that a lot of people use for their professional stuff, Pinterest, YouTube. It does not have those social media connections. And I do want to say yet, because they are working on stuff like that. Hopefully, you know, we always get a lot of nice big announcements, tech announcements at Mega Camp and Family Reunion. Of course, it's coming up in February, which hopefully you can all make. So hopefully, you know, we're looking at other advancements in that area. But the great thing about Command is even if you make it and from within Command, you can only go to Facebook or only go to Twitter, that's okay, because we can also download all of the graphics that you do here onto your hard drive, and you can still go and do an individual post on LinkedIn, Pinterest, etc. So don't worry that you ever can't transfer this stuff to Instagram. You know, Instagram's where everybody likes to show off their photos. A lot of people have great house photos. Of course, you want those for your listings. But you can do those things by downloading the images as well. So to get to those settings, I'm going to go over here in the top right-hand corner where you see my spiky hair and my gorgeous mug there. I'm going to click on my name and go down to settings. And once the settings come on, I do want to take a second and just show this first window here, okay? The first window in settings shows you all the different places that you can connect to your apps. And if you look at mine, this is where you'll see that you are either connected to DocuSign, or if you're a Dotloop fan, for doing your electronic signatures, your paperwork and everything, that's in there. You also have Facebook, which I'm connected to. You can see I'm connected to one account. Now, I will throw out a disclaimer. I am not an agent. I'm not a KW agent yet. I will say yet. That is in the plans. So I don't have a real estate Facebook account, but I do have a side business, which is a travel business. And so for the purposes of all my stuff, I'm connected to my travel webpage via Command, and that'll still let me do examples. So I just didn't want anybody freaking out if you go there and, you know, you see some crazy vacation photos or something like that. It is my business page, okay? But you can connect to Facebook for post scheduling, for doing your social media posts. You also connect to them for doing Facebook ads. Again, we'll definitely have more training sessions on those. You'll see the same thing for Twitter. I personally do not do Twitter. Some people love it. Some people hate it. It's all personal preference. Is there validity and value there? Of course there is. I just ran our Twitter social media when I used to work at CB Richard Ellis for over 10 years. So I was kind of tweeted out. So not something that I do, but again, if you have Twitter, you can also have that connected for your postings and for your ads as well. And you can see that down here, the Twitter ads manager, okay? What I wanna do is I wanna go over here on the left-hand side. You're gonna see all these different settings areas. If you go and click on the arrow next to connect settings, you're gonna see marketing profile. That's where I wanna take you guys to. We have almost 300 agents now, everyone. So I never like to assume that, hey, somebody has set up or not set up Command properly. Me coming in, I see the gambit of stuff with our agents. Some people are in it and loving it. Some people have never even touched it, and they're just starting to get in there. So I always like to bring people to your marketing profile. This is going to help you create your marketing materials a lot easier and a lot faster, because what you do is you come in here, you put in all of your basic info, including your headshot photos, your DBA logos, your team photos, all of your basic contact information. And as you are creating marketing pieces within Command, Command takes this information and it just auto fills it over there. So it is a good time saver. So this is what I would like you to do first. Even if you assumed that this is set up properly for you, please come into Command. Please go to the settings. Again, that menu is right up here, right by your photo. Okay, down there to settings. Then over here to connect settings and the marketing profile. As I scroll down, you're going to see there are certain things that are tagged as required. So you do have to have a headshot photo. I've got mine in there. I'm not on a team, but if you have a team, you could click on this little upload button and upload that. As you scroll down further, when you get into your contact information, anything that you see with a red asterisk, that is required information. So you do have to have first name, last name, probably a good thing to have. You can put an agent, your license number, your team name, your title, any credentials or designations that you have earned, you can put those in there. You can put a bio in here as well. This, even when you do your agent site, this will filter over to your agent sites. Excuse me. Your contact information, your mobile phone, office phone, fax number, email, your website. I've got my KW one on there. Some people that are on a team, you're going to want to have your team website in here as well. And some people create websites outside of the KW URL as well. So you are going to want to make sure that you have the proper website in here. Your market center, you're going to want to have that on there, and you can upload your market center photo if you need to do that, the logo. Over here, your brokerage name, phone number, address, etc. You're going to need that contact information. Again, red asterisk, so it is required. You do have some places where if you wanted to, you can put in your legal compliance, your footer text down here, images, and then you've also got a place for all of your social media stuff, your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, okay? Again, I always want to encourage everybody, make sure you come in here and make sure this marketing profile is up to date. I always tell people, or I've had people ask me, that's why I tell them, what if I don't have a Twitter? What if I'm only on Facebook and say LinkedIn? Should I just leave Twitter and Instagram blank? My recommendation for you is if you're an individual agent, obviously put the social media that you're on. If you're a team, do the same thing for your team. But if you don't have one, it's a good thing to at least put our office web pages on there as well, our office Facebook page or our office YouTube channel as well. You don't have to, but it just shows that you've got a greater social presence, social media presence, and that's always a good thing to help you look like a subject matter expert. Okay. The last couple things down here, we won't get into pixel IDs for Facebook or Google Analytics IDs. That stuff for later. That's a little advanced topic. But also, you'll see if you have a branded KW app, the link will be down there for you as well. I need to get mine set up. Obviously, it's not showing. So if you had to do any changes, just come in here and make your changes and then save down at the bottom there, and you should be good to go. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on the marketing profile before we move on? Okay, not hearing any screaming and hollering, so I'll take that as a good sign. All right, guys, over here on the left-hand side, again, you've got all your different command menus here, your little applets. We're going to go down here towards the bottom. Kind of looks like a little paintbrush and a drawing board. That area is called designs. Excuse me. We're going to get into command designs now. Here we go. Now, when you first come in here, what you're going to see is any design stuff that you have created. So if you've been into designs, you've made some stuff, that's going to show up. If you have not, you're new or fairly new to this and it's blank, don't worry about that. It just means you haven't gone in and saved anything yet. You can tell down below, I was down here playing around with a lot of holiday stuff here lately, okay? Just to give you kind of a general overview of the design area, you've got buttons up here on the top for email campaigns, for your agent landing pages, for social media posts, for print campaigns, for your KW agent site. And this is actually fairly new. They've now got a video button as well. A lot of people getting into video now. I know Bob and Lorraine Hetherington, they do really great videos. I think they literally do one every single day for their Facebook page, like home improvement things. tips for your house, etc. So they're really crushing it here lately on the video stuff. Okay, so you could go to all the different areas individually, but what we're going to do, we're going to kind of do a social media post, and we're going to do it for a just listed ad that we want to put on a Facebook later on. Again, we want going to get into the create the Facebook ad process right now. That will be another training. Today we are focusing on how do I design this Facebook just listed ad. So I'm going to go down here to the green button right down here, the big plus sign on the lower right hand side, and that's the create design button. And when it does it, it shows you the same buttons that you had before. You know, can I create an email design, a social campaign, a print one, a video? Do I want to import a PDF and use that? Or do I have a listing and hey, I just want to, on the MLS, and I just want to pull in those photos and text from a listing, create something as well. So today we're going to go for a social design for a Facebook campaign. Maybe we want to run this later in the week, or we're just prepping it for, to kick out there next week. And give it just 1 second, and then Command is going to take us to the templates area, the design templates area. There we go. Now, if you look over on the left-hand side, you're going to see all these different menus. There are a lot of templates. KW has really been over backwards to give you lots of examples. The templates are great because you don't have to start from scratch. If you're brand new to Command and doing things in design, it's not a bad thing to grab a hold of one of the ones that they currently have and just modify it for what you're going to do. You can always do one from scratch later on when you get a little more experience with it. We do some more training, get your skills up to par. But there's nothing wrong with grabbing one of these templates and just changing it for what you want to do. I do want to show, if you click on these little arrows, it shows the different areas under listings. We've got for sale, we've got just listed, price updates, there's neighborhood snapshots, open houses under contract, just sold, local experts, etc. All kinds of different options here. You've got some buyer options down here, neighborhood snapshots, Keller Mortgage, your buyer presentations, lead generations. I'm gonna have to move my light there because I can't even see all of my screen. Now you won't see the glare in my glasses, Joan. So anyways, just to show you some more examples, okay? Home value, my website, holiday greetings. Had a lot of people coming to me before the holidays. Hey, how do we do holiday cards? Those are all in there. Client testimonials, great way to show yourself as somebody that's done business with you and give you a successful review. We got some leadership down here for recognition, awards, etc., etc. Lots of different templates under each one of those, okay? What we're going to do today is we're going to go with a just listed one. So you just got a listing. You want to go ahead and you want to do a Facebook ad and put it out there. I don't know why this is showing. No templates yet, but yet it's showing all the templates. That's weird. Okay. So again, when you click on this just listed on the left-hand side, you'll see that it updates over here under just listed. What we're seeing is all the different templates. You can see there's tall ones, there's wide ones, there's ones that focus on the photo itself. There's one that shows some more text. But the cool thing about the way they have this set up is you can actually go in and you'll see, okay, well, here's social wide. And maybe you're wondering, I don't know which one to do. I'm doing a Facebook ad, which one should I do? But I want to show you this. As you click on each one, it gives you a little description. Social wide. Leverage the social wide format for use on Twitter, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads. It tells you the exact dimensions, and then it also tells you what's called the aspect ratio. That's almost like your photographs, where you had a 4:6 photo, etc. That's what an aspect ratio is, okay? Each of the different social medias have different pixel requirements or aspect ratio requirements. So it's telling you right here, here's where you can use them. If I go to Social Square, it tells me, hey, you can leverage the Social Square format for use on Instagram. That's good to know if I wanted to download this for Instagram later. Facebook posts and LinkedIn posts. So it looks like the wide ones are great for ads. The square ones are great for posts. And then you've got what's called social stories, which are taller. If you're familiar on social media, again, I don't like to assume everybody knows. The post is something that you put on your wall or your feed, they call it. And those stay there permanently until you take them then down. And that's where people come in and they like your stuff, they give you comments, etc. The stories are available on things like Facebook and Instagram, and I believe they're actually available on LinkedIn now. They just started with stories on LinkedIn because it got so popular. A story, when you post it, it only shows for 24 hours. It's very short. And a lot of people say, well, why would I want that? Well, because your audience, if you think about your audience, a lot of people, and you've probably experienced this. You have a friend, they posted something, you go to catch up with them later on, and they say, oh, didn't you see my post on such and such? Well, it's almost impossible these days to keep up with every friend and every post because it's just constantly moving and scrolling. The posts are kind of nice because it just tells you kind of immediately, hey, here's what's going on, etc. It's only there for a day. So people put things there that are there for either to grab your attention or for a temporary nature. Okay. So the stories are good again for these ones for Instagram, Facebook, and do remember that you can use those on LinkedIn as well. So what we're doing this for, we said was for a just listed ad. So we're going to come in here. We're going to go with a social wide, which says social wide is great for Twitter or Facebook ads. So we're going to go with that. You could choose whichever template you want. You'll notice if I hover over these, I get the name of the file. I get a little 3 buttons here, which gives you a menu. I can either download that or I can send it straight into command. But I'm going to stay here in the design area. And I'm thinking this one right here might be a good one to use. Just listed. It's got kind of a nice graphically and text-wise a layout that I like. So I'm going to click on the use button. And you'll see it loading up into our design space. And here's where we're going to come in and we're going to make all the magic happen. Okay, the design is going to open up into our templates area. Okay, and give me just one sec, guys. Okay. All right, so what we're in is the area where now we can come in and we can change all of the information and do some edits to the photos, etc. So we're kind of in this design area. The first thing I'm going to want to do is come over here and I can edit this text, obviously. I don't, I'm going to have a specific listing that I'm going to want to use. So if I come in here and click or double click on this, you can see that my cursor shows up. Okay. The other thing, hang on just a sec. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's actually go get a listing. If you notice over here on the menu, you've got images, text, icons, logos, and KWLS. I'm going to click on the KWLS. There you go. And this is where you can actually go and find your listing on the MLS. I've already got one. I live in Hilliard, so I kind of like to specialize my stuff at Hilliard. So I'm going to pull one up that my wife and I were actually looking at this house here recently, which is why it was on my mind. So I'm going to look up 5448 Larkshire in Hilliard, Ohio. That's going to pull that up in the MLS database. And you can see, you can scroll down, all the similar stuff is going to show up, but this is the one I was looking for right up here. Okay. So the cool thing about this now, I could manually, I could do this. I could manually go upload my photos, go and type in all the text, open another screen, copy and paste that over, etc. But the great thing about finding it here using this KWLS is now that I found it in the search area, I just click on select and give it 1 second, everybody. But it actually goes and it finds the listing in the MLS and it pulls over all of the photos. If you look over here on the left-hand side, this is a nice house too, because they've actually got some really good photos on this one. And it is a nice property. Love that back deck. Love that back deck. Okay. Some great photos. And then up on the top here, you'll see the photos, but then you also see the listing details. And when I click on that, this is all of the information, guys, straight from the MLS. Okay. It's got the address on there. It's got all the basic information. Okay. So I could have that pulled up on another window, but it's easy to do it right from here. Okay. So we're going to stick with this just listed, but I do want to go in here and I want to edit all this information, the address down here. You've got the basic property information, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, etc. That's from the template. Obviously, I'm going to want to update with that. It is up to you what information you put in here and what information you not. I have heard, again, I'm not an agent, but I've heard differing opinions. Some people don't like to give away the address or the price. Again, that's a personal preference. You ask why. Well, they say, I just want to make it kind of a teaser ad. And then when they click on it, I want them to go over to our KW website or my website, our team website, etc. Some people don't like them having the address or the price because then they can just go plug it into another MLS, go look it up on Zillow, go look it up on something else. Okay. That's personal preference. I'm not going to worry about all that right now. Okay. Again, you guys decide how you want to run that stuff or not, but I'm going to come over here and update the address. And you'll notice when I click on it, I could either double click and I'll get the little icon right here, the blinking icon. So I could just type right into this text box, okay? But also when I click on it, you've got this little, let me move my Zoom window out of the way again. It's right in front of my toolbar, sorry. So if I click on it, this toolbar shows up and I've got some formatting options up here. And one of the ones up here, I always say it looks kind of like a half-eaten Hershey bar. It's called typewriter. This is just my preference to do it. It actually gives you kind of like, remember the old notepad, and I can come in here and I can actually update this information. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So 5448 Larkshire Court. I could type properly today. Hilliard, Ohio 43026. Okay. And when I'm done, you've got options down here, discard if you mess something up, or save changes. I'm going to go ahead and save changes. And you'll notice works perfectly. Okay. It keeps the same formatting. That's why I prefer to use the typewriter. If you did want to make some changes, I chose this template specifically because I like the layout. I like the font that it used. So when you do it in typewriter, I don't inadvertently mess anything up. It keeps all the formatting. However, just so you know, you can change those. It's got several fonts up here that you can use. Okay. Whoops. Do not know what just happened there, guys. Sorry. Okay. For some reason, it kicked. My mouse pad is very sensitive. I apologize. Let's see if I can get back to that. Nope, hang on just a sec, guys. Sorry. Not sure what I hit, but we'll just jump right back in there again. Come on. It's always fun when you're doing command training and command locks up on you. Although I did see our internet in the office going out sporadically earlier this morning, so hopefully that's not the issue. All right, give me just one sec, everybody, please. Appreciate your patience while this is loading back up. There we go, slowly but surely. Okay, I'm gonna pause over this template, click on use again. Once it gets back in there, I'll look it up again in the KWLS. Again, if anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to chime in while we're working along here. All right, so once again, I'm going to click on that address. I'm going to update here. I have people that ask me, can I just copy and paste into this? Yes, you absolutely can. I'm going to actually spell out court. That's just a personal preference for me. So if you did have something, even over here on the listing details, got that in there, save changes. Sorry. Trying to do two things at once. Sometimes multitasking is not a good thing. If you did have another item open up and you had, I have people that love putting all their MLS, the basic data, into a Word document or a Notepad document so they can copy and paste it over. You absolutely can do that. Again, that's why I enjoy using this typewriter area up here to do so. So what I'm going to do now is I do want to update, obviously, all this information down here below. So I'm going to go over here to our listing details again. And I'm going to just click on this. Where we've got the property info. I'm going to go up to typewriter again, so it'll put me into typing mode. And I just need to go find all this information. So it is a 5-bedroom, 4-bath. So bear with me while we just do some quick updates here. Oh, you know what? That actually says, well, we'll stick with 4 bathrooms. It's 3 full and a half. We'll say 4. It'll be more enticing that way, right? Okay, and the square footage we have is 3594. It's a nice size house. Okay, now this one was sold, but I'm going to pretend this is our listing. So we're going to put the the current price that they had on there, which is $429,900. Not bad for Hilliard. And built in, that's why it's great to have this MLS info right there, 2005. So I can just change that one to a 5 and click on Save Changes down below. And there we go. Okay. Now, the other thing, obviously, this is not a photo of this house. So I want to make sure that we get a current photo in there. I do want to warn people, a lot of people come over here, you'll notice if I pause on, or I hover over these photographs, you get a couple options that shows up. One says use as a background, and the other says add image. I don't want to click on it now since Command's being a little buggy, but if I were to just click on that plus sign and say add image, it would not replace this photo. It would literally just put that photo like on top of it. And then I'd have to go back and resize it, whatever, delete the old one in the background, okay? So the thing you want to do is to click on the current photo. And after you do that, now you can see I've got this new button that showed up and it says replace image. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. We'll just go with an outdoor exterior photo for now. We'll swap that out. Whoop, that's not such a great one after all. See, and I did exactly what I told you not to do. I clicked on it without clicking on the image that was there. There we go. House front, etc. Let's see if I think they've got a couple more. Oh yeah, here's some good ones down at the bottom. A full property view. Ta-da. Okay. Here we go. All right, and so I've got the just listed, I've got the address on there, I've updated the property information. Now, the other thing that you want to do is to make sure that your Keller Williams logo is updated wherever it is on the template. So on this particular one, we've got one in the upper right-hand corner. Now, because I've already worked in, oh, hang on, guys, Ashley's trying to get in here. Let me go ahead and admit her. Welcome, Ashley, if you can hear me. We're in Command Designs right now. We're making a just listed ad for Facebook. So again, if you have done some work in here, you might have already imported your DBA logo. I have already done that. So if you've done that, it's just going to be over here. Once I click on the logo, you see it's selected with the blue frame around it. I can go over here and I've already got this logo and I could come up here. You see when I pause, it says replace logo, just like the photo button said replace photo. And I could replace it right there. Again, I don't like to assume that you guys have everything loaded into there. So what you might need to do is click on this images icon up on the top left. And it's going to show you three different options. It's got my assets. Okay. It's got some company stuff in there if you've downloaded any of your stuff, or you've got the add button right here, which is really what I want to show you guys. So what you may need to do is to click on this logo over here to select it, come up here to images, go to the add option, and then down here, you're going to see this option that says drag and drop or click to upload the image. And it tells you which file types it takes. JPEGs, PNGs, PDFs, PSDs. Feel free, if you don't know the difference between those, that's a whole nother conversation between those file types. I always tell everybody for anything online, use JPEGs and PNGs. If you want to know why, just shoot me a message and we can talk about that all day. Okay, so I'm going to click on the add button. This is what you would have to do if you hadn't loaded them manually yet. I just go to my computer when I have my stuff. And there's my KW Consultants logo, full color RGB. I'm going to click on that file and I'm going to say open. And boom, I get a little check mark over here. It tells me that it's been imported. And I can replace the image here. Oops. Or is it going back to my logo? Make sure that's selected. It is. And replace logo. Boom. Okay. And when it does, you know, it might have moved it down a little bit. The dimensions on the photos aren't always the same. So I'm using my arrow keys right now just to move this thing around. And I'm just going to line it up a little bit there and make sure it looks okay. Okay. So now we've got everything, everybody. We've got our property address updated. We've got our property info updated. We've got our DBA logo on there. So I'm going to go over here, and the last thing I'm going to do is rename this thing. And let's call it just listed, but let's, like anything else, you know, you probably want to tag that with an address, Larkshire. Okay. All right. So now that we have this, obviously later on, what we're doing this for is to put this in a Facebook ad. So one thing about Facebook ads actually lets you put in 5 different photographs within your advertisement. And what it does is it actually tracks, like as people come in, they look at your Facebook ad, which one is getting the most clicks on it. And it actually makes that your primary photo, or gives you the option to have that become your primary photo, which is kind of a cool feature. So we could do one of two things right now. We could just save this as is right now, and then later on, I could come in here and make variations of this Facebook ad. The cool thing though is I'm going to show you right now, now that it's basically done, I can come up here to this download button, and I'm just going to go ahead and download it onto my hard drive right now. Okay. When I click on the download option, it asks me again, do I want a JPEG? Do I want a PNG? Do I want a PDF? Just stick with JPEGs for now. We'll talk about graphics on another training. That's one thing near and dear to my heart. I love. I do always like to get these at the highest quality image, and a JPEG is typically low file size. So don't worry, it's going to be too big of a photo. So I always tell everybody, go ahead and jack that quality up to 100, start the download. And you can see it actually did it for me right down here. Okay, there's my practice photo, boom, just listed 5548 Larks. All right, so with that in mind, I'm going to come back here, and I'm actually going to make a few variations of this right from the get-go. Okay, and bear with me, everybody. I'm going to go back to our KWLS so I can go to the photos. Again, I've got it selected here, and I just want, a few different versions, maybe, and I'm going to click on them just so okay, there's a nice dining room. See what kind of photos we got. Looks like there's a nice that's gorgeous master bedroom, right? Okay, so I'll call this one, so I'll call it Lakeshire, but I'm going to call this one master bedroom. I'm just, all I've done is I've changed the photo, I edit the name, and I'm going to download this one now. Make sure that's on high at 100. You can see the file size that's right here too. It's kind of nice, so you know what file size you're getting. And I'm going to download this version. So this will give us two different ones available for our Facebook ad. Remember, you can have up to 5. And there it is. Okay, I've got just listed. I've got just listed master bedroom, and I'm going to do the same thing. Let's just go ahead and make the other ones now. I know they've got some nice. Oh yeah, this deck is gorgeous. I have deck envy. Not gonna lie, that's gorgeous. All right. So I'm going to use that photo. I'm going to change this in the title up here on the top right. I'm going to change that to deck. Okay, and I'm going to download the deck photo. It's at 100%. Start download, and so on and so forth. Guys, I would actually normally do all 5 photos for the purposes of time because we started a little late, and I do want to show you an email template. I'm just going to go with the 3 for now, but hopefully you guys get the idea. Okay. Again, you can do 1 to 5 photos on a Facebook ad. The only thing I'm doing is making photo variations on this ad and saving them under different names so we can have all 5 photos for us. Okay. Once we're done with all that, I'm going to click on done. It's going to say, please wait. And I don't know why it doesn't take you right back to designs. It takes you back to your home page. But we're going to go back to designs. And now you can see I've got this nice one. It gives me the graphic where I left off on it. Okay. So here's my just listed, my basic one. I've got my just listed variations over here, etc. Okay. So again, guys, remember, we're not going to do the actual ad today. This is all about the design area. So hopefully I gave you a little bit of a preview on how to do the designs for a Facebook ad. Now, when we continue this series, we're going to actually go and do the Facebook ad. We're going to take these exact photos in the next session, and we're going to run through a Facebook ad. That's a lot of material on doing Facebook ads, and that's why we can't put all of it, I'm afraid, in the 1-hour session. So. But I did want to give you another example. That was for social media. Again, you could use those photos for posts as well, quite honestly. Before we move on to an email campaign, does anybody have any questions on the social media stuff that we've looked at so far in designs? Give everybody a chance to chime in if you want. Okay, we got a happy audience today. All right, so gang, I want to show you another different variation. Again, I'm back here in designs on the left-hand side. I'm going to go down here to the plus sign. That's our create design button. And instead of a social post this time, we're going to create an email post. Okay, you're going to notice that a lot of this stuff is actually very similar as you're going through the different areas of command. KW, again, they've got a lot of templates in here. If I scroll down to the bottom, I think in this one, I was literally going to say, I think there's 41. There are 41. There's 41 different templates. It only shows you a few at a time. But if you click on load more, you can actually load them all up. Okay. You've got, promote your KW app. Here's a happy birthday one. There's your home anniversaries. I know up here, we just got through the holidays. So yeah, here's happy Thanksgiving, happy Valentine's Day. There's one you can actually use here coming up. It may not be too late to do a happy new year if you want to do that. So guys, you can always come in here, just like I said before, for the social media stuff, and to save yourself some time and trouble, you can always come in here and use the template. The design process, however, for you editing what's in the template is going to be exactly the same from doing it from scratch. I kind of want to show you how to do one from scratch right now. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. So rather than doing one of these, which you certainly could do to save some time, I want to teach you a little bit on how to create your own template. So up in the top right, you've got a create new template button, and it takes you into another design area. Has anybody done their agent website or landing pages yet? Again, I can't see the chat, so I'm not sure if anybody can speak out if they have. Just kind of curious. Okay. All right, well, if you have, you're going to notice that this design area is very similar. What you have over on the left-hand side is kind of your preview area. And then what you've got over on the right-hand side is the content area. Now in the content area, we've got 9 what we call widgets that you can drag over to the left and utilize, okay? So we're going to create our own, like, just brand new email template. We're going to go with the same thing. Hey, I've got a new listing. I just listed something. Excuse me, I don't want to put it out there. And you notice over on the right, these widgets that you have, you've got a text widget, an image, buttons, legal headers, legal footers, excuse me, listing block, event block, videos, and a market snap. These market snaps are great for giving good market information. So I'm going to go ahead, and you notice if I just click and hold it, I can just drag it over to this design area. You see a green line show up, and that green line means wherever that green line is, that's where that widget's going to go. So there's nothing in there now. I'll just go ahead and release it. You'll notice that it preloads. Remember that whole marketing profile that we did before? And we said, hey, it borrows information from that. You'll notice it already says Market Center logo. It says agent photo. It's got agent first name, last name, phone number, email. That's all coming from my marketing profile. Okay. Excuse me. So then I'll go over here and I'll add a text box. Again, if I go up, you see the green line, I can put it above, or if I move it down, it'll go down below. And it says insert your text here. So it's a little different editing here than when we're in the design area. So if I click on the text box, you'll see this menu shows up. If I messed up and I dragged a widget over and I decided, oops, I didn't want that, the little trash can will let you delete it. But if I click on this little pencil, that's always your edit button. I'm going to click on that, and now that edit area shows up over on the right-hand side like we saw before. So just basic editing stuff. Again, this is your font menu over here, your font size. So I'm gonna be smart. We're gonna learn about these fields. So I'm gonna say hello, so and so. Now I could type a name, but that would only be good for one person. What if I have in command 740 contacts and I want to send it out to everybody? Wouldn't it be better to let like a form field just automatically fill in that name? Well, that's what we're gonna do. If you look at this option over here on the right, it says agent first name. But when I pull down that menu, it actually pulls in all the available fields from command in your database contacts. So I'm just going to scroll down here and I find contact first name. So rather than just type, Joan or Natalie, etc., I'm going to put that in. And then when I send this out later on, command's going to automatically fill that in for everybody that I associate with this. I'll put a comma. Oops, and I will say, please check out my new listing in Hilliard. Oops. 2 L's on Hilliard, Ohio. Okay. And when I'm done, I'll just literally click on the done button. You do have some different formatting options up here. It's just basic stuff, guys. Okay. You've got bold, italics, some alignment, bullets, numbers, indentations, and a hyperlink button as well. So there is some basic stuff you can do there. Okay. But for now, I'll click on that text button. Now let's add an image, right? Probably want a property photo in there. So I'm going to grab that image widget. Again, you see the green line. If I move it around, wherever the green line is, that's where it goes. So we'll click on image. I don't have any available yet, but again, there's an option here for listing images. So one more time, I'm just going to say, I'm going to go and I'm going to find that property in the MLS, just like I did before. I love this tool. And there it is, 5448 Lakeshire Court. Okay. Um, I am obviously obsessed with that deck. I love grilling and things like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and go with this back deck photo. Kind of mix things up a little bit. Okay. And I do want to show too, again, you've got, if I messed up and I put something in there, I could go to this little delete icon, the trash can, but there are edit options for every one of those widgets that you bring over. So if I click on the pencil for the photograph, these are the options for the photo. So alt text, what is an alt text? Well, if I pause here, it tells me alternative text is a short description that displays when subscribers cannot access an image. Guys, do you know what alt text really is? It's what text shows up when you pause your mouse on it. I just did it right here. I just showed you the example to read alt text. I had to pause my cursor over there and it gave me alt text. Okay. So if you want that to pop up when somebody pauses their mouse over there, you can always just put the, the address, etc. You can have this image linked to either a landing page. If you've created a landing page for the listing, it'll actually automatically show up in here. If you've got a merge tag or a web address, if you've got a different web address that you want it to go to, if you want very specific dimensions on the height and the width, if you want to put a border around it, or you can change the position over here, left, right, center. Okay. So just wanted you to see there were some options on there. Okay. Excuse me. All right, and so let's go ahead and down below that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the listing block. Now this gets kind of sketchy. When I go down here, you can't see the green line is there. So I always like to move it up, make sure it's there, move it down below, and boom. We've got the address line now. So when I click on that for the edit, okay, nothing is going to show up in here yet. But again, I'm going to go ahead and just replace that. And one more time, just look up that MLS listing. All right, pull that up. We're going to mix up the photos a little bit. I think maybe one of the interior photos might be nice this time. I know I'm obsessed with the deck, or maybe, yeah, we've got some good outdoor ones as well. Okay. And this is where you can actually go in and you can edit this a little bit if you want to, guys. So you'll notice you can choose the photo that it shows up, but it also gives you some options for putting in just the basic property info. So the address, the secondary address, city, state, zip code, the statistics, there's the price on there, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage. And again, if you want this to link over to either a landing page or another page, a great one to do is actually to go to your own agent site, go to your own KW site. Most people, when you go there, you get the search option for houses for sale. A lot of people like to put in the address there, search for it on your website and put that URL here. The reason I say that is because it drives people to your agent site. It will literally pull up this property on your agent site. So this link to landing page, etc., is a nice thing to have on that photo. That's basically they click on the photo and it would go to that page. So for now, we'll say done. Excuse me. We got the listing block in there. Maybe you have a virtual tour. So I don't know that everybody does that. I know some people are embracing the Matterports and doing that. Greg's actually got a company that does those. So I'm going to bring over a video. Again, once I click on it, I can click on the pencil button. That's our edit button. And again, nothing shows up. But you can do this one of two ways. If you've got something loaded on YouTube, or Vimeo is another video service or another area, you can always just punch in the URL. Okay. If you have a video, I mentioned like Bob and Lorene Hetherington, they've been killing it on the video front. If they've got a video that they've got on their computer, again, you can click on the replace button. Excuse me. And then for this one, if you go to add images, you can drag and drop and browse files. I have a video on my computer. I don't think I can use it though, because I think it is way too big because of the quality on it. Again, this is a vacation one. Yeah, it's warning me right now. The file size limit is only up to 5 megabytes. So it does need to be a short video or not a full high quality video, which mine is, unfortunately. But I did want to show you that option. Okay. In addition to the video, obviously down at the bottom, well, let's click done there. Actually, let's cancel out of that since I didn't do anything. And then on the bottom, I'm going to put up one more text box just to wrap this up and just say something like, thank you for checking out my listing. Please contact me with any questions. Now you notice one of the widgets that they had was not like a contact me widget. So I always like to advise people to make sure that you put a text thing down at the bottom. And this is where you would go and you would plug in your information. If you just want to copy and paste, your signature information from your email, or you want to put something in there, but please make sure that they've got name, phone number, email address, etc. A way to get a hold of you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a name. We'll call it David New Listing 2 because I already did one previously to that. Okay. And one more thing before we save this and get out of here, a couple things I want to show you. We just got a few more minutes here, guys. But if you look over here, there's an options menu. When I click on that and pull it down, I can actually go and I can preview this, which I'm going to click on. And remember how when we pulled that information in, it didn't show the actual logo. It just said DBA logo, and it didn't show my name. It just said agent name, agent phone number. This is why I was telling you it was so important to fill out your marketing profile. It's pulling that information over from that. And you'll notice it did. It pulled in our KW Consultants Realty, pulled in my information, pulled in my headshot photo, did great. Okay. Now, again, I haven't connected this to a contact database yet, but you're going to see, hello, so-and-so. It will fill that in once we actually go and we put that in and assign some contacts to it. Okay. And I've got my MLS information down here. I've got my video. Thanks for checking me out. If I was going to send this out, obviously I would put some contact info down there. Okay. So it's kind of nice to just give you a full preview. You can also preview over here on the left. You notice these three little icons. This shows you what it looks like on a desktop. This shows you what it looks like on a tablet, obviously a little thinner. And this shows you what people are going to be able to see it looks like on their phone. Okay. So if you ever want to preview that, just make sure everything looks okay. That's not a bad thing to do as well. There's another place here you can preview. There's a lot of ways of previewing Command. But then also, I apologize, I didn't show these earlier, but if you're doing some steps and you make a mistake, you do have an undo and a redo button here. Okay. The little circles like you used to see in Microsoft Word. Okay. Also under the options, send test email. Absolutely, please do this every single time, gang. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. This way you can just see it in your email, make sure it looks okay before you send it out to the masses. I'm going to send a test email to myself. Okay, it says email sent successfully. And probably take a minute to pop in there into my inbox. But when it does, there we go. David Satterfield. Whoa. Okay, well, that's a first. I've never seen my headshot photo that big. So that might be something I need to look into, okay? So good way to get a test email for yourself to check out. When you're done with that, when you're happy, or if you have to go back and make changes, you always can. But I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then I'm going to save and exit. When I do that, it's going to pop me out back into the design area. And now you can see I've got a fresh email template right over here, okay? So again, guys, we didn't actually do the Facebook ad. We didn't actually like mail the email out. But again, today's focus was just that design area for each one of those, both for a social post and both for an email post. So that's everything that I have for today. Does anybody have any questions? Let me get out of my screen sharing here real quick. And then I can see the tips. Thanks. You're welcome, everybody. All right. Okay. Well, gang, that's all I have today. If nobody has any questions, I appreciate you all stopping by for today's training. I hope that helped you out in Command. And again, please keep an eye out on the Facebook page and our office emails. We're going to continue to keep hitting you guys up with awesome training sessions through January and the rest of the months for the year. Okay. So if nobody has any questions, then everybody have a great day and take care. And hopefully we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Thanks, David.
Thank you, Joan.
See you later.
Yep. Take care. Thanks, everybody.